Let's start with a puzzle. Imagine this. You walk through your front door after a long day. You look in the fridge. Oh no, your pizza is gone. So think about these two events. 1. I arrived home. 2. My roommate ate my pizza. Which action happened first? Well, you know the pizza was gone before you opened the door, but how do we say this clearly in English?
This timeline shows us the answer. At 8 p.m., your roommate ate the pizza. That is action number 1. Then, at 9 p.m., you arrived home. That is action number 2. Both of these actions are in the past, but to show which action happened first, we use a special grammar rule. Think of it as the past of the past. Its real name is the past perfect tense, and it's a superpower for telling clear stories.
The formula for this is super simple. To make the past perfect, we just need 3 pieces. First, the subject. You know, words like I, you, he, she, or they. Next, our helper verb, which is always had. It never changes. And finally, the third verb form. Sometimes teachers call this the past participle. So, subject plus had plus the third verb form.
Let's look at some everyday examples. For regular verbs, the third verb form just ends in ed. So we can say, we had cleaned the house, or they had worked all day. But watch out for irregular verbs because they change. For example, he had gone to the store, or she had eaten the pizza. Notice how the word had stays exactly the same for every person. It makes it so easy to use.
But be careful, here is a mistake a lot of beginners make. You might want to say, I had went to the mall. This is incorrect. Why? Because went is the simple past form, not the third verb form. The rule is that we must always use the third verb form after had. So the correct way is, I had gone to the mall. Just remember, go, went, gone. We want that third one.
Great. You just learned the basic rule. Now, let's try a quick check. Look at this sentence. By the time we got home, the ice cream melt. Pause the explainer right now and say your answer out loud. I will wait. Did you say it? The correct answer is had melted, because the ice cream melted before you got home. Melt is a regular verb, so we just add ed. Excellent job.
Let's look at saying no and asking questions. Don't worry, the rule stays incredibly simple.
To say no, we just add the word not to had, and native speakers push them together to make hadn't. For example, she hadn't finished her dinner, or I hadn't gone to sleep. And to ask a question, we just move had to the front, like this. Had you seen that movie before? Or had they left the house? See? Very simple.
But here is another very common mistake, especially when you answer questions. If someone asks, had you seen that movie? You might hear someone say, yes, I seen. This is wrong. In English, short answers must use the helper verb, not the main action verb. So the correct short answer is simply, yes, I had. Or to say no, no, I hadn't.
Now, do you want a secret to sounding like a native English speaker? We love to talk fast, so we make the word had very short. We squish the subject and had together. Let's practice saying these out loud together. Repeat after me. I had becomes I'd. You had becomes you'd. She had becomes she'd. We had becomes we'd. Make sure you really make that D sound at the end. I'd, you'd.
Let's stop for another quick quiz. Look at the sentence. I had decided. Now you try. Can you make this sentence negative? Say the short, natural-sounding version out loud. Ready? The answer is, I hadn't decided. You just drop the O, put in an apostrophe, and you sound just like a native speaker. Okay, prepare yourself for this one. You might see a sentence like this. I had had breakfast. Wait a minute. 2 hads right next to each other? Is this correct? Yes, it is. Let me explain why this happens. The secret is understanding our main verb. In English, we use the verb have for daily routines. Things like have breakfast, have lunch, or have a shower. Remember our rule? We need the helper verb had plus the third form of our main action verb, while the third form of have is had. So helper had plus action had gives us the double had had. I had had breakfast before I left for work. It looks a little funny, but it is 100% correct. And here is why this is so important. A lot of learners say, I was mad because I had a terrible day. If you want to show that the terrible day happened before you got mad, you are missing something. To clearly show the past of the past, we need to say, I was mad because I had had a terrible day. That extra had builds a super clear timeline for your story.
To make your stories even better, we can use small words called adverbs, words like just, already, and never. Notice where they sit in the sentence. They jump right in the middle, between had and the third verb form. We had just eaten lunch. She had already left. He had never seen snow. These words tell us exactly how the two past events connect in time.
Time for another interactive check to test your skills. When I arrived, the store closed. The store closing happened first. Pause the explainer and say the correct answer out loud. Do you have it? The answer is had closed. The store had closed before you got there. Amazing job!
Let's review the past of the past. You've learned so much today, so let's bring it all together.
This is your master guide to the past perfect. For a positive story, it's subject plus had plus the third form. I had gone. For a negative, add not. I hadn't eaten. To ask a question, flip the order. Had she left? And don't forget our funny double friend for meals and routines. I had had lunch.
Let's do a couple final quiz questions to lock this in your memory. Question 1. True or false? We hadn't gone to sleep. Is this grammar correct? Say your answer out loud. The answer is true. We have our negative helper, hadn't, followed correctly by the third verb form, gone.
Last challenge, they had went home. Something is wrong here. Can you correct the mistake? Say the right sentence out loud? Awesome. The correct answer is, they had gone home. We never use the simple past went after had. We always need the third form, gone.
You did incredible work today. You are totally ready to tell some amazing stories about the past. Now it is your turn to practice in the real world. What had you done before watching this explainer? Did you eat lunch? Had you finished your homework? Type your own true sentence using the past perfect down in the comments below. I can't wait to read your stories. Keep practicing, keep learning, and I will see you next time.